Currently, I'm the chairman of the National Consultative Forum for Political Parties and Organizations. That is NCF. I've come with some members of NCF, and they are right here. Let me introduce them. They can stand, you see them. Mr. Osinde Michael Orach, representing on the forum the Uganda People Congress, UPC. Honorable members, however, the draft instruments tabled to Parliament they still look ambiguous, and I want to call upon you. I want to call my brother, the leader of opposition. The instrument to put this into action and to operationalize the Nakut amendment are not yet, the instruments are not yet out. So it makes our running very ambiguous, and our relationship between IPOD and NCF is not yet clear, because those the instruments are not yet passed. These are the in 2025/2026 general elections. Political parties and political organizations emerged with bigger representation compared to the independent numbers of Parliament as indicated in the table below. We are happy that out of the 8 presidential candidates that stood for this time, all the 8 were from political parties. It's for the first time since the inception of political parties to have an election without an independent presidential candidate. For the first time in the last election, all presidential candidates were coming from political parties, and that is our pride as NCF. However, this time, the NRM emerged with 371 members of Parliament. The National Inter-Platform emerged with 48 members of Parliament. Uganda's People's Congress, 12 members of Parliament. Forum for Democratic Change, 10. Democratic Party, 6. People's Front for Freedom, PFF, 2. Alliance for National Transformation with 1 member. That makes a total of 450 members of Parliament. It is important to note that despite the above representation in the 12th Parliament by political parties and organizations, the slight increase in the number of independent candidates is an indicator that multipartyism in Uganda still has a long way to go. Why would people leave 27 political parties and stand as independents? So that means there is an issue. Why would people leave 27 registered parties and people standing as independents? Why? Challenges affecting one is institutional weakness. It has been noted by NSF that while a majority of Ugandans support the multi-party politics system, opposition parties struggle with grassroots mobilization and organization due to lack of adequate resources. Opposition parties have no resources to go and mobilize. So they are not known on the ground. We keep them in the office and people know very little about them. So people have little choice. We need to facilitate the opposition parties to go on the ground and mobilize. Honorable members, we have, as we talk now, the law limits political parties funding from out of the country to only 400 million shillings a year. A political party is not supposed to get more than 400 million shillings. But what can 400 million shillings do for the mobilization of a political party for the whole year? There is also another issue of internal democratic process. Internal democratic structures, particularly relating to the election of party leaders, remains a critical component for building credible political party that offers every person an opportunity to participate in decision-making selection candidates. It's been noted that all political parties in Uganda face internal fragmentation and conflicts, especially during primaries, the internal primaries elections as a country near the general elections. Internal party primaries pose a significant challenge to multi-party politics, as they characterized by chaos, nepotism, favorism, which attributes to the increasing number of political party independent candidate leaning, who emerges as a result of contested party primaries. To ensure healthy internal democratic culture, we need to do the following. A lot of issues are happening within the political parties. People are giving cards to their relatives. So people have no option but to run as independents. And chaos, corruption within political parties. And that is actually the threat to the running of the political parties. There's no transparency, and we need to be very transparent in our internal democracy as political parties. If we need even external transparency. Of course, there must be existence of internal mechanism to democratic resolutions of conflicts. You fight so much as political parties, and you fight in papers. Your fights are always in papers. So you weaken your political parties, and they attract no people to really come. So we need to, we need also retention of term limits in leadership positions. We talk so much about term limits externally, but some political leaders, you are there for 30, 40 years as a political party leader. So you block others to join that political party. The cost of democracy is too high. The key challenge of democratic pluralism, financing political parties, we need to finance the political parties' honorable members, those in parliament and those outside parliament. We need campaign financing and the rest. Finally, honorable members, the contribution of political parties and organizations in advancing multi-party democracy in Uganda. This is our contribution we offer. And this is our pledge to Parliament as NCF. Political parties and organizations have a significant role to play in regard to contributing multi-party politics, expounded here under. Number one, dialogue. Not every political question can be answered by a vote. We need dialogue as a country. There are certain situations where we need to sit as a country and dialogue. You can be so powerful as a political party to win elections, but there must be dialogue. We must talk. There must be a time of forgiveness. 40 years, 50 years, there must be somewhere we sit, and national dialogue is provided for in the national constitution. Dialogue. Not every political question is answered by a vote. So as political parties, the national dialogue is very important for post-election inter-party and intra-party conflict resolution and easing tension created by the violence during general elections. Ugandans can still talk together and build a Uganda we all need. We all need to be peaceful, irrespective of our political parties and colors. This is our country. So always after a general election, there must be a national dialogue. That is our call as political parties. There must be all-inclusive in a number of key democratic concepts for political parties as a concept to extend to the participation of both government parties and opposition, and include both large parties and small parties. At times we talk about large parties alone. These small parties that you see, they have ideas, and you need always to bring them on board. Honorable members, we need public accountability. Yes, as NCF, we advocate for public accountability. Political parties ideally fulfill essential intermediate accountability roles between citizens and the state in every well-functioning democracy. There are also the connection between party system and government. This intermediate position and their presence in both civil and political society give political parties a unique opportunity to work with and potential enhance both supply and demand side actors to public accountability through democratic control, providing checks and balance, preventing the misuse of power, holding government to account for performance behavior, addressing public decision makers, and endowing government with increased legitimacy. Opposition is very healthy for a functioning parliament. There must be checks and balances. There's no one time as members of parliament you should fight the opposition in parliament. At times you may even have an issue as a member of government, you may wish an opposition person to raise it for the good of the country. So it's very important that we have a healthy opposition in parliament. That's our call as political parties. Unity in diversity. We should agree that we cannot be the same. Actually, the Constitution says that there will be no one-party state in the country. We must agree that we are one, but in diversity.